But I'd like to talk about castor oil now. So there's been a lot of questions in the break about castor oil, and I didn't explain castor oil because I wanted to pour it. You can see it's soaked in now. Now, I don't know whether you had a look at what it looked like when I first put it on, but it is spread right out. But it was like a thick bubble. Castor oil is so thick. And that's why a lot of people hesitate to put it on their skin, because it's so thick and gooey. So if you had an area, let's say bone spur, castor oil will break up a bone spur. Isn't that good news? Say you had a bone spur on your wrist and you rubbed castor oil in, well, it's so sticky. Now, if you've got time, and I don't know many people who have this much time, if you have time that for 10 minutes you just massage it, it will go in. So it'll eventually go in, but all that will go in is what you massaged in. But if you put a compress on it, you can get about 10 times more castor oil in than if you just massaged it on. And if you're busy like I am and haven't got time to massage for 10 minutes, you just put it on and bandage that on. So let's go back to Jamie's pretend sore wrist. And it was inflamed and sore. Can you see the castor oil on my wrist? Now I've got castor oil on it. So we put the ginger on in the afternoon for a couple of hours, and Jamie might say, oh, it's really hot. So we take it off. And then Jamie has her shower, maybe 8:30, getting ready for bed because she really wants to be in bed by 9. So I'm actually not going to put this on her wrist, otherwise her wrist will look like mine with castor oil all over it. But the fact that I have so much castor oil on me now shows me how much is in this compress. And so then we put that on and we bandage that overnight. And remember, when you bandage up between the hands so that it doesn't fall down. That thumb will anchor it there, and that can be overnight. In the morning, what Jamie does is she takes it off, folds it over, because she's going to use this again and again and again. That's why we call this a compress. In fact, I've used castor oil sometimes on old injuries, and I've used them for a month, the same compress. Now, you see how when I put that on, there's a lot of oil there. You can sit down now, thank you. So I might be patient and rub it in a bit. After about 3 or 4 times of being on Jamie's wrist overnight, it's getting a little dry. So then you just put another little bit in. And you might do that every 3 or 4 days. So we had a lady, I'm trying to find this lady, because she just showed me how she had a bone spur. No, it's not a bone spur, it was a corn? Yeah. Bunion. And so, you tell me your name again? Doreen. You can go and have a look at Doreen when we're finished. And she put it on her bunion, and it's gone right down. And I said to Doreen, how long did that take? 6 months? And she said, no, maybe a month and a half. So that's incredible. So if we understand that castor oil penetrates deeper than any other oil, and wherever it penetrates, it breaks up lumps, bumps, adhesions, unnatural formations. And a bone spur is an unnatural formation. Okay, the next question is cancer. So if it can break up a bunion, if it can break up a bone spur, oh, tumour's easy. And when we talked about cancer, I told you about the lady who was told she had breast cancer and she applied castor oil compress and she conquered her breast cancer. And what a lot of ladies do, if it's a lump on the breast, they'll buy an organic cotton panty liner. Now the panty liner is very absorbent and has a plastic backing. And this might be a bit thick to put into your bra. You might look a bit lopsided. but the panty liner is thin, so that can be very convenient to just slip into the bra. And again, you can use it again and again and again and again until it starts to look a bit sad, and then you might throw it away and make another one. So I'll leave it up to you. You know, if it's in an area where you're not perspiring a lot, where it might be getting soiled, you might want to change that a little bit more. But in fact, excuse my foot, but I had an injury on my leg here. In fact, not looking where I'm going, and fell down some stairs, and on that area I put a poultice on it, and then after a few days it was great. I've got a dent there now. Now let's fast forward 10 years later, and we've got an automatic car. And Michael got a new car for around the property, and it was gear, and I'm used to gear. But what happened was, I'm changing gears all the time, and we're going up the hill, down the hill, round the corner, stop at this place, and you're using the gears an enormous amount. And that leg started to get painful. And it just got painful. And I got my son Peter to have a look at it, because he's done massage. And he said, "You had an old injury there." I said, "Actually, I did." So, see, you've got a few threads here, an old injury, and then using my leg in a way that I don't usually, so I overworked that leg because I was doing the clutch a lot, and then that tipped the scales. So he said, "Come over every night, Mum, and I'll work on it." Well, he was so painful. He said, "Just breathe, Mum, just breathe." He was going to break it up. And so after a couple of sessions of that, I said, "Peter, I'll do it my way." So I made a castor oil compress. And I wore it 24/7. Morning, noon and night. And I wore that compress for a couple of months, and I don't hear anything from that leg anymore. But an illustration to show that I had a bit of built-up scar tissue there. And I didn't even realise it until I overworked the clutch foot. But I wore it every day, 24 hours a day for 2 months. Now, I was getting relief within a couple of weeks, but I decided to just give it my best shot. And that was probably about 3 years ago now, and I almost forget that I even had anything there until I think of telling you a story about how you can use the castor oil compress, yeah?
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis. Now, this lady asked me a question about a surgery she had done, and it has healed, and the ginger poultice if there's inflammation. And if you want to know if there's inflammation, you'll know, because the skin will get hot. And if the skin doesn't get hot, it could be that there's a bit of scar tissue build-up. That could be the cause. Or sometimes if there's an injury that's been there a while, bone spurs can grow. And that's where the castor oil can work. And I've had 2 major injuries to my shoulders, so I've become an expert at bandaging shoulders. And what I found, when you bandage your shoulder, you see, you just put it around here, it'll just fall off. So what I did was I'd bandage it, bring it up here, and then put it under my other arm and bring it up, and that would hold it in place. But old scar tissue, bone spurs, tumours, excellent for breaking that up. Now, I say this so much on my iPad that my iPad, it just prints it for me now. The key is consistency. You know, when you type something a lot,